So there is actually some very good news of the iPhone 15 right now, which is honestly what we need. The iPhone 15 has been all over the place in terms of the sales numbers and everything, but it looks like we actually have honestly some pretty predictable news, which I wasn't expecting. I mean, it was predictable, I was expecting it, but at the same hand, I feel like every year there are some changes that end up happening. Now, this article stated, and this is from sellsell.com, they're basically stating that the iPhone 15 depreciates less than with the iPhone 14 post-launch, and apparently the Google Pixel 8's resale value is terrible, and that's kind of what we were expecting, to be honest. But it's actually very, very interesting that we're seeing these types of changes because, in my opinion, the iPhone 15 was honestly, a very good iPhone. Don't get me wrong. It was one of the better iPhones Apple's ever made. But with this particular device, I will tell you, there are some interesting changes going on with it. I do think the 15 is going to have, percentage-wise, a better resale value than potentially the 15 Pro, depending on the sales numbers and everything. But I will tell you, starting off, the iPhone 15, in my opinion, is a very good iPhone. It has its issues, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this is a terrible iPhone. And I would probably argue that this is the best, probably one of the better upgrades Apple's made this year. So because of that, when you look at the iPhone 14, it was a very small upgrade coming from the iPhone 13. They didn't really change too much. It kept pretty much everything the same. But then when you look at something like the iPhone 15, this ended up bringing the dynamic island, ended up bringing lots and lots of changes this particular year, which was exactly what we needed. And because of that, we end up actually getting a newer type of device, a newer iPhone, and it actually feels like a newer iPhone. And when those types of things change and those types of things happen, this ends up changing a complete lineup of iPhones as far as we can tell. So because of that, when you have something like the iPhone 15, we're actually going to end up basically getting a newer type of device with better, features on the outside, and it ends up looking like a newer device overall, which is amazing. These physical changes are some of the biggest changes Apple could ever make, and because of that, we're basically getting a newer looking phone. So the resale value of these iPhones are going to end up probably at least retaining themselves or end up being better than the previous generation because there's a lot more changes. So that is by far one of the biggest things we have going for this particular iPhone. It also has a newer chipset than last year's iPhone, has the same RAM, but it's still a very good iPhone nonetheless. So we finally end up getting an iPhone that, kind of retains its resale value much better than its last, generation, but also much better than, even like the comparable, kind of Android phone that just came out. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.